is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips, and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
My idea was to go Liverpool into
Alright, welcome to another episode of the Anfield South podcast. My name is Slim. Yeah, and I think that should say it all about how I'm feeling. It's your boy, as always. Let's do our guests because, only occasionally do we have guests on. So, guests first. We got Liam with us, the Man United fan, to get the Man United view on today's game. James, back in the country and in the building. How you doing, my friend?
I'm fine, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, man.
And of
Pleasure
course,
to be
as
here.
I say every week, the pod would not be possible without him. The man, the legend, the myth, engineer Sam in the building. What's going on?
What's going on, people?
Sweet boy Sam.
Anyway, let's get down to business. So obviously not just watched, the game just gone, Liverpool, Manchester United. Probably the biggest game in English football. Final score was, from a Liverpool point of view, a disappointing 0-0. Just before we get into the game, let's talk about lineups. Let's go with Liverpool lineup first because there was much discussion about whether Matip was going to make it or not. Engineer Sam, seeing as James's phone is ringing like he's selling hot pies, come to you, my brother.
No, I've turned it off.
Unprofessional swine, you gotta love it.
I've turned it off.
Do you know what I mean? Come back from Ghana and just mashing up the ting, Listen, Sam, talk to me about the lineup, man.
I'm disorientated, but still.
To be honest, I wasn't expecting Matip to be back. I got excited for a hot minute when I saw him training, and then I saw the still picture of his face, and I was like, this guy doesn't even want to play. He just looked cold. He looked sick. He was like, nah, I'm not ready for this. And considering how fragile he is, I'm not surprised that Klopp didn't throw him in. So at that point, when I realised that he wasn't going to start, I was thinking to myself, okay, yeah, let's bring in Phillips because I did not want to see Henderson at the back. But he's gone with Henderson. Someone's trying to jump in on the call.
Oh, we've had a latecomer. We've had someone gate crash the podcast.
Yo, can you hear me?
Evening, Professor.
Hello, Professor Paul.
I just need to do a quick piss. One
Yeah,
second.
everyone really wants to know about your toilet habits. Like,
And how you don't read the messages in the group that tell you not to come in when we're recording. Like all of that.
Hey, you have to watch out. Someone's wearing a Cantona shirt. It might come through kicking you through the internet.
He's actually going for real. This guy is not fucking serious, I swear.
Good spot,
Anyway,
Paul. Good spot.
Listen, this whole thing, I don't know what's going on today. Do you want to? Are we keeping Professor Paul?
Let's just crack on, innit?
Alright, cool.
Yeah, you might as well for the quirk factor.
Shots
The
fired
quirk
already,
factor.
Liam. We've only been recording for like 3 minutes. Anyway, Sam, as you were saying, you weren't expecting Matip in. So just run me through the lineup quickly, just.
So centre backs we had Fabinho, Hendo, obviously Trent on the right, Rob on the left. Centre midfield we had it was more Tiago with 6 and Winnie and Shaqiri. Strangely enough, were playing as the 8.
Did anybody shout Sakiri in the preview show? I can't remember. Nobody saw that.
That was out of nowhere. I heard Klopp saying that he's been training really well. He looked like he was ready to start, and obviously his cameo in the last game against Villa was good. So I can't knock it. I was surprised, but I can't knock it. And standard for 3, who are looking like strangers today. But hey, we'll get to that, I'm sure.
On the preview show, we talked about Manchester United's possible lineup. Liam, was there any surprises in your lineup today? Did you expect anything different? Oh, Man City have just scored a second. Gundogan looks like a worldie.
All right.
He's had to fit Pogba in because of his performances. I was surprised that he played Rashford through the middle. Not because he can't play there, but because he hasn't played there. And he's tried to force that counter-attack. And I think with somebody who's not played that position for that long, they're just not in that frame of mind of playing that last line and watching the runs like Martial's been doing. I would have started Cavani today. I would have, because Cavani's given us that little bit of, not hold-up play, but that presence of calming us down when we go forward and then putting the killer ball through. All day today, we tried to play the killer pass every time. Bruno was garbage today in my eyes. And he was. It's a team, but and Lindelof, I wouldn't have started Lindelof today. He's had the injuries. He's not bad with Maguire.
But he didn't concede though.
Bailly was set up for this game today. He's faster, stronger in the tackle.
Just before we crack on, who's running a nursery in the background?
Decisions from
Because I can hear like some magical, mythical music going on. Can we get that turned down, please? I'm not trying to go on any magical journeys right now.
I don't have any girls.
Anyway, so from your point of view, Liam, there was a couple of surprises in your lineup. But I was quite surprised in your lineup, but I was quite happy to see Pogba, Martial and Rashford in your front three, because what that meant for me was that I felt that would nullify Pogba's threat going forward, him having to play wide. So yeah, I was quite happy to see that. And to be honest with you, anyone that started in your back four didn't bother me, to be fair, because centre back, because I don't think any of your centre backs are all that and a bag of chips, in my personal humble opinion. Ooh, yeah.
We didn't need a back four. And you know what? That is probably the only thing that saved us today, was that he's just not been on form. He's not the player he was. And literally every time we got the ball, I didn't panic too much. Usually, if that had come falling to Mane or anyone like that, it would have been in. It would have been a goal. Those opportunities he had.
Hey James,
he would have been very.
What do you think about what Liam has just said there about Firmino and his potentness in front of goal?
Have we started yet?
Paul, man, seriously, you just sit back and wait till I say your name, man.
Why are you even here?
Yeah, just wait till I say your name, man. Do you know what I mean? Jesus.
Listen, for me, he looked sharp, but he didn't finish his breakfast. Basically, he got into good positions, but he just didn't finish his breakfast. He looked much better than when I've seen him in the recent games, getting into good positions, getting in the box, getting shots off, but he just didn't finish his breakfast today, and that was the final piece of the jigsaw puzzle, mate. If you'd scored at least one goal, I think he would have he could have scored a brace. I mean, he could have scored a brace. He looked like he was on it. He was pressing hard. He was winning balls in the final third. And I'm patient with Ghost. I call him Ghost anyway, but I'm patient with him because I know what he's about. He pops up in big games and scores goals in big games, but it just didn't happen for him today, for one reason or another. That's an issue right now. That's an issue. That's the whole team issue. Yeah.
And
exactly.
My opinion is that the season's weighing heavy on us. I think we went 97 points, 99 points, scoring what Salah was top goal scorer how many seasons in a row. I think there's a big expectation put on themselves, and I think it's starting to show a little bit. Just that eagerness when when you want something too much and you're just too eager. I think At first I thought it was a lack of creativity from midfield, but I just think it's Well, that's that perfect segue. Tiago midfield was absolutely outstanding, and I'm going to speak for me. I was probably Tiago's a bit sceptical about Tiago because I don't follow European football as much as other people. So I knew about him, but never seen him play. So I was like, okay, impress me. And fair enough, he impressed me in the Villa game, but that was their kids. So I was looking for a big performance today, and I think the first half he absolutely bossed it and pulled all the strings. And I think at that point, as a Man United fan, you must have been shitting your pants, Lee.
I watched him. I went to a Chelsea game, not last February, February before. No, it was last February. And he played for Bayern Munich against Chelsea, and he ran the show. Just his little touches from midfield. He's not a big guy. He just soaked up everything, and just he was the key focal point. And he just played everyone in, left, right. You know, when he looked under pressure, he just had the time and like the vision just to pick out a nice little pass. Like no super exuberant passes and play. It was like simple things played perfect, and that's what he brings. And he made all midfield today look like they were freaking amateurs. Like Fred will run all day, he's like a maniac. And just the little touches, he's gone past Fred. McTominay, solid in midfield, gone past McTominay. And he didn't just do that once or twice, he was doing that pretty much all game, and that was the main threat for us. And I thought, two defensive midfielders, Fred and McTominay, we should have dealt with that, but he wasn't. And that just shows the class of it. And everyone was talking about not having Henderson and Fabinho in there, like boss in that middle. I don't think we needed it. Maybe defensively, but like going forward, he was unbelievable today. I just don't think like Mane maybe is probably near where he was. But Firmino and Salah for me are non-existent. Like Salah was running out of ideas. I don't know if that's a testament to Luke Shaw.
All of this, Paul, is coming from a Manchester United fan. He can see things in our team in probably one game, because admittedly he's a Manchester United fan, so he probably doesn't watch as many games as we watch, and he can see certain things. What about what Liam just said would you agree with?
Of course, it's there for everyone to see. I'm not like really pissed off today. I'm actually quite chilled about it, because we've been in this form. We've been blunt in front of goal. So I will focus on the positives. The positive is we're not conceding. It doesn't matter who's playing at the back. We're not conceding at the moment. And you know, with the Henderson thing, first time against Southampton, I was like, yeah, get all your best players on the pitch. I'm happy with him there. Then I was like, in hindsight, no, we missed him, but we didn't miss him today. I don't think in midfield. I think we created a decent amount of chances in the first half. Obviously Firmino, and then now you're looking for the front three to step up. We were talking about creativity. He brought Shaqiri in, he brought in Tiago. There was loads of passes between the lines. Now you're one-on-one with a fullback. Now Shaw and Wan-Bissaka did play well. Shaw was like a new man, do you know what I mean? But you're going to beat him at least once. And even Salah, if we take Salah against Shaw, his body shape when he's going up against Shaw it screams no confidence. Do you know what I mean? It screams no confidence, and it's just not good enough. But it's not something that I'm going to scream about. It's just, it is what it is. I'm happy I can personally pinpoint the issue there today. So today for me was the forwards. Now my solution is, we've been here before, let's not get into argument about people like Taki. Let's just call Taki, Origi, player A and player B. Now,
just to fill you in quickly, Liam, this guy has got a real affinity, affection towards Taki Minamino.
We were going to say hard on.
I'm going to get some jokes today still.
Honestly,
I'll let you have your 2 minutes, go on.
And player A and player B needs, once you get to like nearly 3 games of not scoring, it should be in the first game anyway, like it was the Southampton one. They need to be coming on not with 6 minutes ago. Yeah, Origi was player B today, wasn't he? He got 6 minutes. That's unacceptable. I'm not sure if Klopp is scared of taking them off after what's happened in the last couple of months. They need to, if they're not performing, take them off. Start them every single game, because you need to play people into form. They're world-class players. But if it gets to 20 minutes, and I, who is an armchair supporter, can see and sense we are not scoring, give someone else a go. That's professional football. That is standard.
Okay.
It's standard stuff.
Okay.
I'm getting angry now, actually, because it is standard stuff. Yeah.
Mate, that's grassroots football. That comes down
And you
the
can
chain.
sense it. You can sense it. So make a sub. Make the sub. You're a forward player. Don't be frightened. Bring it on Ataki or Narigi or Shaqiri because he's usually sub and he usually gets 60 seconds. Doesn't mean we're going to concede. It doesn't mean they're going to score an own goal. Do you know what I mean? What Klopp actually does, he takes off midfielders at 0-0. And I think that changes our equilibrium and it spoils things. And when he brought on Jones then, I'm a big Jones fan, but he changed the shape, brought Jones on, and within 5 minutes, Allison was flying through the air like Superman.
Okay. Well, we've heard you. I'll let you. I appreciate your point. You bring players on to change the game with a decent amount of time. Fair enough. Let's flip to the Manchester United side. From your point of view, Liam, how did you rate your performance in that first half?
It was a proper game of 2 halves.
Yeah, John Stones has scored a second.
35 minutes.
Oh, really? He's in my fantasy team, so yeah.
Stones and Shaw, what the hell?
I know, man. 35 minutes, like to 40 minutes, I was panicking. No, not so much that I thought we were going to lose the game and get battered, but to the fact that we hadn't even strong passes to it. Every loose ball, we were not even second or third best to it. You know, we were like 4 minutes behind the play. You know, your boys were picking up every time, every loose ball, every little nick, every little touch was always picked up by Liverpool. And I thought, here we go, we're not going to get hold of the ball and play football that we've been doing well with. Everyone's going on about this counter-attacking football. That's not what we should have been going there for today. We've been doing well at counter-attacking football. We've been passing around, building up the pressure, and then breaking counter-attack. Not waiting to be right put on our own goal line and then trying to break with one-touch football. Bruno Fernandes knocking 45-yard ball every 2 seconds. It doesn't work, and I'm a little bit annoyed at United to try and set out and do that because that's not how I.
You know what? That you hit.
Play. That's not how.
Sorry to John cut you. You hit the nail on the head. I said at half time to Sam that for Manchester United side to come and play with the tactics they were playing with in that first half was actually quite poor. I personally expected better from United, being Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in England. Like, I expected more. They came for me with the mentality of let's soak it up and try and hit them on the counter, and that is a West Brom tactic, a Fulham tactic. Do you know what I mean? One of the lower sides in the league.
I don't blame them though, to be honest with you. I don't blame them for doing that. I don't blame them. They're top of the league. They're trying to preserve their lead at the top of the league. If they get a point away from home at Anfield, where we have not lost for 3 or 4 years, that's a good result for them, really. I don't blame them for doing what they did.
I agree with you, James. But when you've got a defence like ours, and like okay, we've been all right the last few games defensively. We've got a great away record. But when you're playing a Liverpool as good as they are attacking, to take that risk at Anfield and try and go for that 0-0 is, you know, it's a massive gamble. Massive gamble. We were just lucky that it fell to the right people today, and we got away with it. And you know, if it wasn't for your goalkeeper, we could have stole the point. To be honest, for me, it's a great draw. Drawing at Anfield is great, especially the way Liverpool are at the minute. But for a United fan, how we've been playing, to then go there and be nervous for the occasion for 40 minutes.
I wouldn't say nervous. I think we are the better team in possession, so that was going to happen anyway. Even if it was a year ago or 2 years ago, it's still going to be the same kind of match that was played out in the first half as it played out today. So that's nothing new. That was always going to happen in the first half, especially when you come to Anfield. We're going to have more of the ball. I think I don't know. I don't want to speak about United too tough, but you got a point away from home.
When we spoke at half time, I was nervous about it because I thought they've sat for the first half, and the second half they're going to come at us and actually try and push us back a little bit. Now, I think that happened, and they had the better chance to win the game. So I'm not really too upset about how they approached the game in the first half because they stayed in the game enough to be able to push us in the second half and nearly steal the points. So although it looked like a bit of a lower team mentality, you've got to remember they're top of the league. They didn't need to win that game. Yeah. And so I kind of feel like first half we missed our chance because we were so dominant. We created enough, but we didn't take our chances. And so for me, at that point in the second half, that's why I was worried about the second half because I thought they're going to come onto us now, and they've sat enough to see what we've got, and we haven't shown them enough.
Yeah, but although I said I was disappointed in
precisely,
the way they set up,
precisely.
Didn't I also say to you that they had the most to lose coming in this game? Losing a game was probably worse for them than it would be for us, in my opinion. The fact that I told you this because they're top of the league in this current situation. Yeah, obviously, we're the reigning champions, yada yada yada. But in this current situation, you're 3 points on top of the league, ahead of the nearest rivals. Yeah, you've got more to lose.
And they've got a game in hand, though. They've got a game in hand.
No, they haven't. They played it.
They have.
They played. That's why they played Burnley.
They haven't now.
They had more to lose by losing the game. For us, we were already in second place, third, fourth by the time everything else is said and done. To lose today, we'd have got a bit of heat. Oh, the champions, but we're already behind. So I'd rather lose the game going for it than trying to be conservative and get the point. So I think they had the most to lose, and that's what I'm saying. And the only reason I was disappointed with where they set up is because historically, you look at Liverpool-Man United clashes, Man United-Liverpool clashes, they're not really played that way. It's full-blooded. Everyone's playing football. Everyone's going for the win. Today, it just seemed a bit like the first half. They were one, nervous, and two, content to come for the draw. And I just thought, bit of a shame that I wanted to see a better game of football.
It almost worked for them, man.
Second half was definitely different. We had our confidence. It was shaky. It was shaky from the start. We were clearing the ball 19 yards, out the edge of the box, and you guys were just picking it up. That's how we were. The second half was different. We got those little breaks. Allison, we've got to talk about Allison.
That's what you pay the money for. That's what you pay the big money for a keeper like Allison for saves like that, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
65 doesn't even look like big money anymore, to be fair.
I think Pogba could have done
65 mil for a keeper. That doesn't look like big money anymore, to be fair. When Chelsea buying Kepa for 71, 65 doesn't look like big money anymore.
It's not even the fact of what Chelsea pay for their keeper. I mean, when you're making saves like that, with every save you make, I'm sure it knocks like 5-10 million off what you paid. You see what I mean? So, yeah, great saves. And you were saying that Pogba could have done better. So, let me just go back a bit because Sam was saying, I think it was Sam. You were saying that Manchester United had the better chances. Did they have the better chances?
Because a couple of them were pullbacks. So if you open up your body and you pick your spot, I know it's a quick chance. If you open up your body and you pick your spot, keeper has no chance of those. We had kind of tight chances. Firmino's when Salah ran through the middle and lost the ball. There was a defender in front of him. They had a tap-in with Bruno Fernandes. They had a pullback with Pogba. Was there another chance they had as well? For me, their chances were clearer.
It was one, I'm not sure if it was offside or not, where, was it Martial or Rashford?
I wasn't even talking about that one, to be fair. I wasn't
talking about that one. It was offside there.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. But it was two really good saves, and their chances were better than ours. So their strategy and their tactics actually almost worked. We had good chances. They had clear-cut chances, man. Clear.
I agree.
Our chances, I thought, that fell to Firmino were ones where, with their ability, you want them to work the goalie. To score, hit the post, make the goalie make a great save. Do you remember when we played United? We drew 0-0 maybe 3 seasons ago.
You're going back,
played
man.
pretty well.
3 seasons,
and De Gea made 2 great saves. De Gea made those saves where, there wasn't many good chances, and there wasn't many open chances that day, but we played decent, and our players were in form, and it was striking them well, bottom corner, top corner. I remember calling De Gea a monkey that day. He was so agile. And that was showing our talent. We didn't show talent today. It's one of those games where when the media or we will say the Premier League's the best in the world, well, these are the two top teams. Where was the quality? Where was the dribbling past players, twisting players up? Like, we personally, I don't think we showed it much anyway.
But we're not a team in form, though.
Yeah,
we're not a team in form.
Is that an excuse to not beat your man, take your man and beat your man, James? Not be in form. Because I mean,
no, it's not.
There was a point in the first half where I saw Tiago sit Fred down. I think it was Fred.
Yeah. Slim, you know what? Your point there, bro.
I didn't.
Your point. Tiago probably completed more take-ons than all of our front three. He's playing in centre midfield. That's scary. That's scary. The amount of times he dropped his shoulder, and like Liam said, he took it past Fred a couple of times, McTominay. He had more take-ons than our entire front three. I'm sure he did. And for me, that's yeah, he did.
And a shot on target.
That's a bigger problem as well, because we haven't got any threat up top at the moment.
Do you know what? I don't reckon he had many more take-ons than Mane. I think when we're talking about the front three and their lack of goals, I'm hesitant to put Mane in there. Yeah, he hasn't scored, but I just feel like this guy turns up week in, week out, and no matter how well someone defends, he still manages to get change out of them at some point in the game. Whereas when you look at your Firminos and your Salah, I think if somebody asked me who the man of the match was today, I'm going to say Luke Shaw, because he had Salah in his pocket.
I don't think Wan-Bissaka was far behind, because I think Mane got round him. You know, when you're shoulder to shoulder with someone, Mane's comfortable on his left side, got to the bar line, and the pullback was... He might have had even a couple of pullbacks, but Wan-Bissaka was with him all the time. And I agree with you, Slim. Mane's the one where he will fight and he will show something. Even when he dribbles past someone, when he does a step over and he goes to his left side, sometimes the best defender can do is smash it against Mane, and he's still got possession of the ball. But even today, it is what it is. That's why. But I'm not too worried. Jota's coming back. These boys will get back into form. We're not conceded, but I don't want to wait too long for them to hit some form.
Well,
but that's what I'm waiting for now. Tiago will solve the problem in midfield. Now the front three need to step up.
So in the second half, part through the second half, Cavani came on. Did you think then at that point, Liam, that you would actually score a goal? Because obviously when Cavani came on, he changed his shape a bit.
He brings the quick players and the players around him. Your Rashford and Martial and like your Bruno through the middle. He does these little tiny flicks. He comes to the ball as if he's going to hold it, and then he just lays it off. And it's like first time, and that's when it opens up. And we didn't have that in the first half. We tried to play that high line and try to run in behind. What I said before, Rashford's not been playing there, and I don't think that was the right option at the time. Cavani's just not a big number 9 and play that way that you're lumping it into him. He's so much better with his feet. And as soon as he come on, I thought we're going to get chances now. He's going to bring in these little intricate players instead of Bruno lobbing 40-yard passes. He's going to start playing balls in behind onto the ongoing running. And there was a couple of times that happened. And that's just not just that, he goes in with his man, and when he loses it, he goes again and tries to win the ball. We don't get that from him. We sometimes get it from Rashford, but when a player comes in and does that, it does masses for the rest of the team. It just lifts them. And I thought, here we go, we're going to get a couple of chances here, we just need to put them away, and we can win this. But the first half didn't have any real faith in doing that, to be honest. I thought the back four did really well for you boys. But yeah, Cavani
I'm a big fan of Cavani, to be honest with you, mate.
And everyone thinks
not in a United shirt, but universally, I've always been a big fan of Cavani's. Yeah,
I don't know his numbers, but I'm sure if you looked at his numbers, they'd be quite good.
Definitely. Yeah.
I would like Mason.
Yeah, I'd have been a little bit more concerned if Mason got a few more minutes, just because of his pace and his unpredictability. That youth,
dangerous player.
And the fact that we haven't even discussed Trent, because I think Trent, he's in a bad vein of form at the moment.
Can I just ask a question? Can I just ask a quick question?
Go on, James. Quickly, go on.
Have United got better subs than us at the moment? Like you're talking about Cavani, Mason Greenwood, Van der Beek, and we're talking about Origi, Minamino's, whatever his name is, and who else
Yeah,
again?
yes, they have. That's
Do
it.
you know what the
Have
answer?
United got better
That's,
subs than us?
I tell you,
How is that
I tell you
possible?
why that's
Since we've
possible.
been Champions League winners, Premier League winners, how is that possible?
Our bench excites me. When we've got them options, when you're looking at the end of the game, this is why we've been finishing games strong.
This is what I'm trying to say.
And you think,
How is it
well,
possible United have
I
got better
tell you
subs
why
than us when
United
we've
have got a
been
better
winning
bench than
things for the
us.
last
Because
2
without
years?
Van Dijk and Joe Gomez and putting midfielders in defence, that weakens the bench. Because think about it, if Gomez and Van Dijk are in that centre back partnership today, off the bench you've got either Henderson coming on, Shaqiri coming on, maybe even Tiago coming on, just more, Eve Jones coming on. Do you see? Already I've said 4 names coming off the bench. All right, admittedly Jones was.
So it's purely down to an injury
Because
list. It's
he's now
purely down
having
to
to
that
adapt
then.
and having to put midfielders that would usually play in the back 4.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And
Okay.
I would also add,
Okay.
Slim, that our 3 players, our front 3, the famous front 3, have been at such a level that obviously Klopp has relied upon them, and touch wood, they've had a decent injury record, so they're always there. I think the United players, with no disrespect, I like Martial, I like Rashford, but they can be inconsistent. They can even be inconsistent in the 90 minutes. They haven't. I don't
It's a
think
good point,
they've
to be
reached the
fair.
Mane, Firmino, Salah consistent level. Do you know what I mean? So they've got 5-6 players in rotation to do what Mane, Salah, and Firmino
That's
did
a
like
good
2
point,
and a half
Paul.
Yeah,
seasons
that's
That's
a
a
ago.
very
great
good
point.
point. I
That's a
really
very,
agree with that. I really agree with
great
that.
point.
I really agree with
Yeah,
that.
but
That's a
yeah,
good
to
point.
answer the
Still.
question, at the moment they have got a better bench than us, and obviously we know it's a squad game and it can help. Do you know what I mean? Especially when, like you were saying at the top of the show, Paul, like it's quite
you've got
young,
to
isn't it?
remember the
Yeah,
average
Yeah,
age of
yeah, I'm
our
quite
yeah.
young.
front 3 as well.
Is he only 22?
Rashford's what,
Do you think
22?
Wow.
Feels like he's been around
Liam? How far can
forever.
Rashford go? I mean, Rashford is a player that obviously
If that,
you lot are the scum, so I'm not going to watch you too tough. But where's he going to go? How far is he going to go? Is it a manager? Is it him? What's going to happen?
do you know what?
Manager, you know.
I don't know if the manager. I think with being born in Manchester and the talent he's got over the last 3 games, I've seen him take on players and go through 3 or 4 players and think, fucking hell, where's this lad been? Oh my god, you know. But as James said, it's in peaks and troughs. You know,
Yeah, I think he is around that age mark. He looks in good form, I must say. He looks in red hot form at the moment.
You know, and he out of everyone, he can probably go to that level. He's got the attitude to go to that level. Martial, we've had him for a few years now. He's still not that old. I think he's 26. I think he is. He doesn't have that mentality. He doesn't have that persona to go and kill it, grab the great game by the scruff of the neck. He doesn't have that. He's quite lethargic. Great player, don't get me wrong, great player, but he's not a player that can drag it through for you. Rashford though, he could go all the way. With Ollie, I'm not. Listen, I love Ollie. Being a Man United fan, Ollie is like a god to us, and it's always that. Okay,
You don't want him to fuck it up. Yeah, you don't want him to fuck it up.
Don't want to get rid of him. Is he gonna learn? Is he gonna learn under Ollie?
Yeah, but do you know what? Do you know? Sorry to cut you, Liam. How's he going to learn off of a man who made his career on coming off the bench? I don't.
That's why you bring the players in, like Cavani.
Do you know? That's true. Players do work with better players, but I just feel like if a player like Rashford has to turn to other players and can't turn to his manager, surely there's something wrong. Surely, ultimately, the boss should be the guy. Like you should be able to learn off your fellow colleagues, but the boss should be the guy that you learn off of. Surely.
We don't know that that's not happening though. Ollie's been in a dressing room with Alex Ferguson for how many years of his career, and he's seen him give the high treatment to all the biggest players, all the biggest names. So who's to say
That guy,
and
that guy
Alex
can't.
Ferguson's
That
still
guy won't
got-
let go of
look,
Manchester
you've got to
United,
remember,
really, boy.
Alex Ferguson's
Jesus.
had like 6 Ollie may be saying the right things to him. So he might be coming off that. He's doing a lot of stuff off the pitch at the minute. I feel like since that's been happening, not being.
You know, it's
so
funny you say
focused
that
on his
because
football.
I was literally just when you
As hard as
finished, I was
that's
about to say
I don't
I
think
have
he-
to give Marcus Rashford props for his work with the kids and stuff like that. And I disagree with you. I don't think that takes away from anything he does on the pitch. I just think that's something he does in his spare time, like you would play golf or play computer or you know whatever. I just yeah. Yeah, but you can't, look, when you go to work, you go to work. I can't believe I'm defending a Manchester United player, but whatever. When you go to work, yeah, you go to work. Whatever's happened at home is at home, and you've left it, and you go to work and you do your job. Whether you sit down at a desk, hold tools in your hand, or you kick a football. So when people say that, not just about Rashford, about other players, you know, like even other sports, Lewis Hamilton, again, people, his lifestyle. No, I disagree. You're outside, yeah.
Sir Lewis
That's
Hamilton, by the
debatable
way.
for me. We won't get into the whole surf thing, but anyway, you're outside of work. You're doing your outside of work thing. You're in work. You're doing your work thing. The fact Rashford isn't scoring, it won't be due to stuff off the pitch. It'll be due to stuff on the pitch. Other players, you know, maybe his own form just in the game. Oh gosh. Man City, we're watching Man City in the background, guys. So occasionally you're going to see us drift off, but
I'm watching it as well. That's why I'm turning my head like
I
that.
think Sterling has scored a worldie.
Do you know what?
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Marcus Rashford's 23, by the way.
Obviously, it was just an opinion of is he?
But yeah, no.
But you know, he's got time. He has got time, this boy, and I think he will be. I think when he plays his natural position, I think he does like to play through the middle. You can see today he hadn't played it for a while. We were either playing the ball too early.
Sam, I was just glad Rashford didn't play from the left because I think him and Trent have got a bit of a tumultuous. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. But they've got
I think Trent is still mentally scarred from what Rashford did to him 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, like there's.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
Let's be real. That was Trent's worst defensive performance of getting ripped in the biggest possible game. And you know, I mean, he's not great defensively anyway. We know this. But to be playing up against him 90 minutes when they're playing on the break as well, I was relieved when I saw him playing through the middle. I was actually relieved because, like Liam said, he did look a little bit out of sorts, and his runs when he didn't need to go early because we had no pace at the back anyway, were always too early. And I was like, right, we're getting away with one here because Martial wasn't on form anyway. And for Rashford to be the guy that's making those runs through the middle, we got away with it. Because if he was coming in from the left, Trent would have been in problems. Because he loses his runners all the time anyway. So I'm grateful for that, man. And even though I said to you at half time, I thought we might get caught with one of them. I think, did they switch at half time?
Yeah.
They did, didn't they?
I think Pogba went out to the left, didn't he? For part of it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pogba went out to the left, and then they played kind of Cavani, then come on, didn't they? Later on, so then he played through the middle, and Rashford was on the right. And like I said, he just brings the team in instead of trying to do over the top and back through the middle. It gives you that one extra pass, then for the killer pass. And that's what we're missing. We should have done that from the start, I think. It showed in the second half of what we could do.
I'm not sure if I'm glad that you didn't start Cavani because I don't think he's as mobile as what he used to be. Like, don't get me wrong, he gets about the pitch, but I think he would have been well shackled by Fabinho and Henderson because he's getting on. What's Cavani? Must be 34, 35. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Slim.
Yeah, hold tight. I'm coming to Trent. Go on, finish what you're saying. I know.
I'm like rubber man.
Finish what you're saying, Leo. Go on, man.
No, it's just saying, but Cavani, his movement, if you watch his movement through games, I'll probably watch more games. His movement for an old person, like what we call old in football, is class. So he doesn't need to be super quick because he's already read it and he's in and he's out. And you know what? His fitness is unbelievable this season. I didn't watch too much of his PSG, but you never say he was the age that he was. You never say that watching him.
Fair enough.
So I get what you're saying, but I don't think
now.
Can I ask Liam a question?
I'm talking about
Just before, I know you want to go on to Trent and other things. Just a quick question, Liam. Can you win the league this season?
Whoa. Hold on, Liam.
That's Liam's job.
We'll get to that.
You can ask a question, can't you?
Just allow it, mate. Just wait. We're gonna get there.
I thought we was going to move on to like Liverpool, Trent and that stuff. I thought we was leaving United behind us. I thought I'd get one in there quickly. But yeah, no, crack on.
Let's talk about Trent. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Sam, what is wrong with Trent AA? Because I was saying he needs the AA because he's breaking down. Someone needs to call them for him. Because what is going on, man?
That's a good one, Slim.
Do you know what? It's been a struggle all season for Trent. He started off the season with COVID, and that put him back a little bit. I don't want to get into the long-term effects of COVID on ballers because that's your area. But I do think he struggled to not just gain his form, but have his confidence. He started to get it, and then he got injured against Man City. Came back, what was that? 4 or 5 weeks he was out. And he hasn't got any rhythm since he's come back. Then he's had a couple of really poor performances, and it seems like he's playing with no confidence, and he's not doing the things that he naturally does anymore, and he's taking an extra touch. And for me, when we whip those balls in from the right, they've got to be done first time with him, because that's what we're banking on. We're not banking on getting a ball pinpointed on someone's head. We're whipping them in and actually getting across defenders. He's not doing that anymore. So those moves are breaking down from him, and he's losing his confidence from the fact that he's not actually able to provide anything at the moment. In terms of he's the one who's putting in the balls for the assists. It's not happening at the moment. The only thing he's able to do effectively, which is what he normally does, is switch to play to Robbo on the other side. Other than that, he looks shot. He looks absolutely shot. He looks tired. He looks like he's got no confidence. And I don't know where he's going to get it from anymore, because he ain't going to be getting a rest anytime soon. And like, for him to be one of our main goal threats in terms of assists, we're struggling with that as well. And that's another reason why we're not scoring. So I'm at a loss with him, man. And it's like I'm screaming at the TV, but I feel sorry for him. I actually feel sorry for him because he's lost his game a lot.
As a United fan, like watching Liverpool over the past 2 years, the fullbacks Robertson and Alexander Arnold, unbelievable, probably world class, probably the best two fullbacks in football over the past 2 years. And watching them boys, not minus your front three, having them two as a goal threat were petrifying for any team to play against. Overlaps, direct, balls whipping through, goals on their own. I've not seen that.
They've not been the same. No. Trent's not been the same.
Robbo's been okay.
Stay consistent. He seems to always get the balls in. I think Robbo had.
Yeah, Robbo's got a massive engine though. Robbo's got an engine. Trent's a young guy. Like Robbo's like 26, 27. Yeah, Trent's what, 21, 22?
Robertson
he's still growing.
Robertson had a chance to score.
For me, Trent.
I think he needs to believe in himself more when he gets in front of goal. Yeah. I think he needs to stay back and practice shooting, because he gets in such good positions. Going back to the first half, Firmino had a shot when he should have played Robertson in all day long. And it's.
Last year, Robbo was banging in goals like that. I've seen him smash the ball.
He's hit and miss with those shots, though, Liam. He can score, but he's hit and miss. But I think that's again what I'm saying. He needs more belief in his ability that he can score those goals. Maybe, like I've said it before on the podcast, stay back behind training and practice shooting from the left, cutting across the ball, cutting across the goal. Like, practice that and believe that you can score in game. But Trent, definitely, his levels have dropped. What is the solution, Paul? How do we get our old Trent back?
He's just gonna have to play for it. I mean, there's two bits today. I think it was actually improvement. That's how rubbish he's been today, because there's two bits for me, like physical and tactical. First, physical. He lacks intensity. Like, I'm not sure if it's because there's no crowd. He's afraid of people hearing his voice. I don't see his facial movement change. I don't see him bark. I don't see him get angry. I don't see him sort of furrow his eyebrows when he's sort of concentrating. He lacks so much intensity. He lets people he sizes them up, a defender, a winger, but he doesn't look like he wants to engage them. If that makes sense. But and then that's also like going forward. But tactically today, I think Klopp's had a word of him, and again, I don't know if it's against the social or it's just obvious. Those crosses from deep we were doing for the last 3 games, where it was like giving up and just hoofing it in there, or that changed a bit, and I thought we crossed it less from silly angles to try to whip it in. Trent had two decent crosses today. I think he got to the bar line a couple of times as well. Drove one across, and I thought our players were on their heels, and it might have been Lindelof who got rid of it. So that was an encouragement, and also his crossfield passes, which was bread and butter for him and had gone in the last 2 or 3 matches. He actually brought that back today, and it seemed to be his most comfortable pass back to Robertson today. He's the one who played it to Robertson. Robertson played it round Lindelof, and Maguire got his foot to for Firmino, was it?
Yeah.
And he came back off Firmino, and So I am taking any.
You are definitely half glass full today, aren't you?
I am today, because we've seen it. It's the same thing, isn't it? So what were the positives? Positives were Klopp picked an attacking team, and I'm not too upset about the thing. Do you know what I mean? I think Trent can get back to it.
Fair enough. Point taken. There was a point in the game where Henderson was barking at Trent, because my pet hate is short corners, and he took a short corner, Trent, and you just heard Henderson, Trent, toss it in. Like, it's just.
Yeah, but there's hardly any tall. There's only hardly any tall players in our team to head the ball anyway at the moment.
That corridor of uncertainty.
I don't agree. I mean, the midfield is full of 5'5" players. The up front they're not that tall. Okay, Mane is good at heading. To me, I don't think the long cross is on today. If you've got Virgil,
like we just talked about with a lack of goals from our front three, when the goals aren't coming, that little ricochet, that little deflection or anything, or it bounces off someone and it drops to your feet, that could kickstart.
Yeah, I get that bit. But just going back to Trent, for me, I think the Premier League is very taxing, right? He's at 3 years now in the first team. Unexpectedly, he came to the first team in the first year. Second year was on a high wave. For me, I know this might sound a bit controversial, I think it's time to release him from the shackles of defending. It's time for him to play further forward now. I really, really believe that. I really believe someone should be playing behind Trent to get more out of him attacking wise. It's time for him to leave defence completely, for me. That's my own personal belief. It might not be right in your eyes, but for me, it's time for him to play that Beckham role where he's right mid and just whipping the balls in and making attacking plays. That's my bit said. That's my little rant over.
You have a right 4-4-2 type formation and a guy running down the wing of blazing crosses.
Well, we got to figure a way out, because this ain't working at the moment. This is not working, so we need to change it. Everyone knows that in sales they always say if it's not working, you change it. If this is not working, you change it straight away. Everyone knows that.
Remember, he was doing that anyway at fullback, and that was the beauty of it.
That's what I'm saying. Those were the first 2 years of his Premier League career. The Premier League is very taxing.
James, what you're asking him to do, he wouldn't do anyway because he's off form.
I don't think so. I don't think with the defensive duties he has to do with running back. You can see this guy's a young guy. This is my own personal belief. We need to free him from defensive duties. Personally,
James,
I might be wrong, but that's my own personal belief.
I think you're back in England now, bro.
No, I'm being serious. That's my own belief. I'm sorry if you don't agree. That's fine. It's nothing to do with Ghana. This ain't got nothing to do with Ghana or the Sun. This is my personal belief. He needs to be free
UKBH, I'm not gonna let you back,
from
bro.
defending completely.
Listen,
Yeah.
no, hold on.
Let's talk about that after the game. Let's talk about it after the podcast, man.
Released from the defensive shackles, yeah, guys. You can see all the handles going across the screen. Drop us a message on Instagram or comment on below in the YouTube and let us know. If you agree
let's
with
get
Jay.
a bit controversial, man. I don't want to be like you guys, and I don't want to be the same as you guys. I want to be a bit different.
No, don't worry. I was posing a question.
Sorry.
Okay. Don't worry.
I didn't hear it.
Just so to summarise, overall, how would you summarise that game, Sam? Because you ain't got that time for you right now.
Fair result, but I wouldn't have been too destroyed if United nicked it at the end, because I'd have felt we'd have got what we deserved by not taking advantage of how in control we were in the first half. Draw was the first fair result.
Fair enough. And from your perspective, Liam, how would you summarise that game?
It was fair. From the first half, I think we got points. I think we were lucky to get away with not losing all three. But from the position we were in the table, going into it as leaders, I'm torn between we probably lost. With the chances we had, we played better than them. We had better chances. So I'm kind of I'm happy with the draw. Going to Anfield and getting the draw, I'll take it.
Fair enough. You heard it there, people. Liam, the United fan, kind of feeling that they dropped points, and Sam feeling that if we lost, we would have got what we deserved. Harsh, I do think, though, Sam. I do think that's a bit harsh, but fair enough. Let's move on to other business. As we were saying, we were watching Man City Palace in the background. Man City ran out 4-0 winners. I think that was easy for them, which is tossed Manchester City to second in the league. They're 2 points behind United with a game in hand. Now, a few pods back, I said Manchester City had lost their sparkle. Well, they've been to the fairyland and they have found their magic dust, and they are back in full effect, quietly going about their business, climbing back up the league. Paul, Man City were always considered title contenders amongst us. There was always someone that said can't write off Man City, but how serious is their charge now?
I kind of written them off. I'd written them off in the beginning of the season because I thought we were going to walk away with it. Do you know what I mean? And they looked sort of blunt. I thought they looked quite blunt. There was no Aguero. Sterling looked a bit off his game, but it's kind of like back to basics, isn't it? Their defending has improved, and now, like you're saying, the goals are coming through. So you're looking at teams who've got a tradition of winning 8, 9, 10 games in a row. That's us in City. United obviously drew today, so it's quite self-explanatory, isn't it? Where they're going to be like, they're going above us
right now. Yeah, where we've dropped down to fourth now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping they can still be got at, because I was a big fan of Jesus maybe a couple of seasons ago, as in potential, but I don't rate him that highly anymore, and I'm not sure where Aguero is. They can be stopped. Like you can stop a team who haven't got a proper striker, I believe. And they did have 0-0s. Now they are on form now, but I don't know, man. I'm not giving up anymore. I'm not giving up. That's true. It's the corners, isn't it? Stones and Diaz. Yeah, I
2 goals. Yeah, and in the FA Cup against us as well. They've gone from Talisman Aguero.
You could argue it's an evolution.
It's the variety in formations. It's the variety in the change-up of formations. That's the key thing that Pep does all the time. He changes things up relentlessly. Personnel, formations, he tries different things all the time, and he just gets results. And that's, for me, 4-3-3 all the time with us, that needs to change as well. I think with Jota we did change. We went to like a 4-2-4, and that was working quite nicely. But clearly Pep, man, he just keeps changing things up.
Formation is the personnel. We keep
exactly.
The same personnel.
Either it's personnel or formation, whatever.
If we want to stop our personnel, that's different. But yeah, look. Theoretically, City have got the history of going 9-10 wins in a row. But I'm holding out some hope because I think they still need a striker. I've seen the games where they've looked turgid. And
Hold on a second, I'm just getting my dictionary out. Hold on.
That's a good word, that.
Professor Paul that here again.
That's a
Teaching
good
us new
word.
vocabulary.
Listen.
Was you a teacher in your former life, Paul,
What
by
do you
any
mean
chance?
former? You mean current?
Debbie.
Jesus, man. Nah, he's not a teacher. He's not.
Is that what he... anyway.
How worried from a United point of view are you, now you're top of the table, how worried are you about City?
We're in freaking fairyland at the minute, to be honest. You know, we've done well with our away record to get where we are. We're not great at home, but that could change. But we've got a great squad. We've got a great bench. We've got that depth. We can change it. You know, if something happens to a player, we've got a player just to slot straight in, and that could be turning point. That could make or break our season.
So you feel your strength in depth is what you've got over City to stave off that attack if necessary.
City could come just are starting to come good. So let's have a quick look at the fixtures going on. Right, so you've got City.
No, they're not.
Villa.
No, they play great football as well, do Villa.
Like at home, but Villa aren't an easy team. That's probably the first game City have had. They're actually going to have a bit of a challenge. Over Christmas, I think City had.
I agree. I'm just looking at the fixtures as well. You're right, though. To be fair, mate.
You boys have got Burnley. We played Fulham, so that hopefully we can get something out of that. You boys played Burnley. Burnley aren't easy, as you've seen from us playing them the other night. City then go to West Brom. You know, who else do they go and then go? And they go and play Sheffield United after that. You know, like. As good as we play, their game they're going to potentially build up their goal difference, and they've got a game in hand as well. So I think they're going to have a shot.
The fixtures are sounding like they're being kind to City.
And you play what you can. So yeah, they are. Yeah, the next through January and February, I think City, and then they play Burnley, and then they play you on the 6th of Feb.
You know what's funny, Slim? Is that, you know, you said something funny. You said the fixtures look kind to them. But that's a perspective, isn't it? Because City are playing well. Like, if we play them next, like a Fulham or someone, we might be like, oh, we're going to score.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But do you know what? Yeah, do you know what's actually quite funny? Like, Liam, as Man United are now top of the league, he's doing that thing that you do when you're top of the league. You look around at your rivals and you look at their fixtures and you see, they should pick up points. You're looking to see where your rivals are going to necessarily drop points to keep that gap between you and them. So, to answer James's question, do you think you boys can win it?
I think we can, the squad. I think if we can take the confidence from today and the position we're in, I think we can. It'll be a bit of a smash and grab, but I think with the squad we've got, I think we can. I honestly do think we can. I think you guys are just struggling with squad depth. You know, you've got massive injuries. I read today that Van Dijk was in training, as in light training, on his way back. So if you can get him back for, you know, the last 6 or 7 games, you know, that's a massive boost for you. Diogo Jota, unbelievable. I rated him really highly at Wolves. When he comes to you guys, he just lit it up, and I think your front three have missed that competition coming in behind them because if Marcelo wasn't performing, you know Diogo Jota would be in there after 60 minutes. You know,
but you know that's not a surprise to me in the sense that I said that with the injuries, if we win the league, it's like a small miracle because of the way the injuries have gone, and if we don't, then I'm actually kind of at ease with it, because the way the injuries have happened and the way they've hit us, and COVID at different times and X, Y, and Z. Come on, man, to come through that is a lot to ask a lot of our teams after going through what we went through last season and the whole way the fixtures worked out last season. It's a lot. So if you look at it, there you go. You're getting it from one of our fiercest rivals saying the exact same thing. You know what? With your injuries, I felt relaxed. So that just tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, if you boys win it this year,
yeah,
then I reckon
Yeah.
for you guys it's got to be a bigger win than last year. Although you won the Champions League as well and that, but with the knocks and the niggles this year and the way how tight it's been, then you'll appreciate it if you lift it at the end of the season like if we
fair
do.
enough. Let's go back to the title rivals as well. So if we're saying Man City are title rivals, don't we have to put Leicester in that bracket, James? Because I mean, Leicester are sitting third, 2 points behind Manchester United. Are they not title contenders?
You know what? As it stands now, I guess you can put them as title contenders, mate. Regardless of my feelings towards your stepdad. And
Guys, for those of you who wouldn't know, that's an inside joke. But we call Brendan Rodgers my stepdad because when he was Liverpool manager, I used to defend him a little bit because I like Brendan Rodgers. You know what I mean? He's known as my stepdad.
Me too.
yeah, no. But just quickly, I think they got a decent squad. I mean, they got a bunch of midfielders that are all. There's a lot of competition in midfield. The defense is solid. I think they've got players coming back from injury with Soyuncu, however you pronounce his name, coming back. So if they're in the top four and there's only a few points in it, then at this precise moment, title contenders
again
for me.
Yesterday, 2-0 at home to Southampton. I think was it Tielemans got one.
Yeah.
Who else? Barnes and Maddison. Sorry.
There's a lot of attacking midfielders there they've got there, man.
Like I was just saying, James Maddison, Harvey Barnes, Louis Tielemans. There's some good players in that midfield, technical players as well. Then.
You get the players like Morrison start kicking on goals because he's been short of them after his injury. If the players like that start getting goals, they're going to be right up in the mix. You know they've relied on Vardy so much, and if you like Tielemans and Barnes,
Well, that's what you need.
They'll start kicking on goals.
I don't think they'll last the test. I don't think they'll last, but as it stands right today, January the 17th, you got to put them in as
that's what you need now when you're
in the title race.
Mount title challenge. You need goals from all around the pitch, and like Liam's saying, if they're starting to score goals from the middle, I mean, you have to take them seriously, don't you? Who am I going to talk about next? Let's talk about your shout, Sam. Chelsea. I mean, they went to Fulham on Saturday and they managed to win it 1-0. But I watched that game and the boy at Fulham got sent off. I forget his name now. He got sent off. Yeah, I'm gonna find his name now because it's gonna annoy me. Hold on a second.
Begins with a D, doesn't it?
Anthony Robinson is his name. He gets sent off. He gets sent off just before half time for a challenge which I think was full-blooded. Did I think it was a red card? Not so sure about that. They've kind of disappeared, haven't they, Sam? Chelsea.
My shout's looking a bit shit now, isn't it?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I didn't watch the game. I've not totally dismissed them purely because of how tight it is at the top of the league. I think if you discount United, who are top, that's just for you, Liam. From second down to eighth is about 5 points. It's not massive at the moment. So anyone who can put together a decent run of 3 or 4 wins, all of a sudden is back in it. So I'm not ruling them out completely, but Frank does look out of his depth. I would say that. I wish I'd watched the game actually against Fulham because when it was 0-0 at half time, I was like, considering how well they played against Spurs, maybe Fulham can get something here. But obviously the sending off had a major impact in that.
But even with the sending off, Sam, Fulham still look good. Fulham still created chances, Seriously, I think Fulham have taken heart from that point against us, and since that game, I feel like they've kicked on, and they believe that they can now mix it. They're thinking we drew with the champions. Who are you? And they look really good, and Chelsea were lucky to run out 1-0 winners, to be fair.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, man, they're still around, but like I said, the gaps. So everyone's going to be taking points for each other. I think they've got Leicester next, which is a massive game for both teams. So let's see. I'm not ruling them out yet, but I still do believe they will be in the end of the season.
Fair enough.
Liam, you're bang on the fixtures, ain't you? You're bang on those fixtures. Yeah, I know where you're coming from, mate. I know where you're coming from.
Even I guess when we win in the league last season, and even the season before, you could call those seasons like freak seasons because, like I said, 97 points, 99 points. But I feel when you have to start relying on other teams to nick points for you to win the league, you ain't winning the league. Do you understand what I mean? Because where Liverpool, Man City have won the league, they literally beat everybody and didn't really need anybody, except for that one season, obviously the 97 season. But prior to that, City have just beaten everybody and been the best. Never had to look at anyone else. Say that again.
No.
7 years, is that all?
No,
is that all, mate? 7 years.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel it's just like when you're looking at other teams, I'll just forget it. Not that you need to get there. I don't think you need to look at other teams now. You're top.
I know it just makes it interesting. Watching as a football fan, not just a team fan, but as a football fan, you like to see these fixtures coming up, and pressure. I like seeing the league close. I don't, as a Man United fan growing up in the 90s, you got kind of used to it, and you loved it. It was amazing. But as a football fan, when a league is tight, it makes it so. It gives you so much more justification for when you do win the title. You boys went off and just smashed it, absolutely smashed it. You hadn't won it for 30 years, but you smashed it, and nobody was supposed to. But when you win it,
do you know what? It's funny you say that, Liam, because I remember once on a podcast. I think it was on a podcast. I said about that. I said I would like that closeness, that up down. I would like that, and it makes it. Yeah, and everybody looked at me and was like, are you crazy? No, it's been 30 years. I want us to just walk it and have it from early, and which I understood that side of things, but I understand from a footballing perspective, not just like a Liverpool fan, Man United fan, Chelsea fan, whatever. From a footballing perspective, when you've got that, 1 week it's them, next week it's them, it makes it more exciting. I fully get that. So I see why you're looking at the fixtures. My producer is warning me about the time, so let me just jump onto my shout for the title. Spurs, who do you know what? As it stands right now, are sitting fifth. They've won 33 points. They're not too far behind. Spurs?
City.
Yeah, they're not too. No, they're not too far behind.
City there.
So what are they? 4 points off for the leads. As long as they keep doing what they're doing, they could be in with a shout. I mean, they beat Sheffield United today. What was the score? 3-1 today. And the Tanguy Ndombele, is that how you say his name? Scored a stunning goal.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was special. He just, I don't know how he even knows the keeper's off his line there and lobs him from that angle, but yeah, it's a great. Say that again, Lee. Well, he's gonna find it hard to drop him now because he had quite a good game, did Ndombele. But yeah, so they ran out 3-1 winners down at Sheffield United, and they're quietly going about their business, but I know Spurs tend to get Spursy, so there's every chance they'll do the Spursy thing and then just drop off again. But it seemed today, like, when usually watching Spurs, they get a goal and then they try and sit and consolidate. But watching them today, they look like, right, we've got one, we're going to go get another. So maybe he's changed his ethos a little bit and he's released the reins. But
Slim, how could they not when they're playing the team that's bottom of the league?
That's it, Slim.
How could they not? They couldn't sit in that game, surely not.
Do you know what, though? But to be fair to Sheffield United, they didn't play badly. 2 of the goals for Spurs came from one of their players, the guy in midfield. I felt sorry for him because he's not going to see the light of day again. He lost the ball. He looked out of his depth. But the Sheffield United, their goal they scored was actually really nice as well. They played some nice football.
That's what I was going to say, Slim, about sitting back. That's the one thing Mourinho does quite often, and I think a lot of Tottenham fans and what everyone can see that they've had a couple of draws where they should have kicked on and won the game. So if he can be a bit more offensive-minded, tactically and philosophically, then they could do something. This could be the season. Like in the beginning of the season, I predicted there'd be 12 points between the top boys. I didn't include Villa in there. I probably didn't even include Leicester in there. But I think there might be between 8 points by the end of it. Yeah, honestly.
No, we'll see. Let's see what they do. But yeah, for now, Spurs, so. Still being a little bit Spursy. Yeah, boys, that's it. I've got to wrap it up, man. Engineer Sam has told me that's time. Do you know what I'm saying? So we got to go. Liam, thanks for coming on. It wasn't that bad. Luckily for you, it was a draw, so you didn't get savage.
Thanks, Liam.
You were alright, do you know what I mean?
I'm quite neutral, to be honest. As a big United fan, but I'm a big football.
Yeah, we've enjoyed
Thank you, Liam. Big up, mate.
We'll definitely get you back for the reverse fixture. Can't even speak. Reverse fixture. 1st of May, yeah? Whoa, that's my birthday month. We're definitely going to be with
He's bang on it, getting it.
We got
But let's be honest, when you're fighting for the league, who cares about the FA Cup?
No.
You know, let's just be honest. But yeah, boys.
Just a quick jab, Lee. Just a quick jab, Liam. What year did you start supporting United?
From when I was West, so I'm from the Isle of Man. So
Yeah, but what year though? What year did you start supporting? 99, was it?
I played for my team.
Listen, James, man.
Sorry?
Probably 99. So yeah.
Listen, don't worry about James. Don't worry about James.
Just a quick one, mate. Don't worry. I'm only pulling your leg, mate. I'm pulling your leg.
Don't worry about James here. He only supports Liverpool because of the free shirts he got when he lived back in Ghana. Do you know what I mean? He know nothing about Liverpool from the early days. But yeah, listen. Hey, I've been your boy Slim as always.
I'm trying to jab the United, man. You lot are not back to me. What's going on here? We've got a United man and I'm missing.
It's been quite amicable.
You're so diplomatically. You're lucky, mate. He's a very nice United fan, I must say. You're a very nice United fan.
You don't meet many of them, innit? So when you meet a nice one, you treat them nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Let me go. James, thank you for coming. See you again soon.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
I can't believe you managed to keep you contained today. Thank you.
That's all it is.
Thanks for this, Sam, man. I know you got things to do after we finish this pod, man. So do what you do, my brother.
Yeah, man. Respect. Thanks for watching, people.
All right, until the next
time. Nice one. Afishapa.